All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Nithin Ramachandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 1044. We are live on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, on all the podcast platforms. And fans, everybody knows about our app called the Spreaker app. You guys can ask questions to our guests today, and obviously, you guys know about that. And today's guest, I'm joined by my good friend Ryan McCarthy, baseball outfielder for Trenton Thunder in the MLB Draft League, and he used to play football back in the day at Citadel University. So he's a multi-sport talented player out here, but now he's focused on baseball. And obviously, we got to cover him in person with Jersey Sporting News. And man, what a great player he was! He had a great season for Trenton Thunder, getting clutch hits. And everybody, watch out for Ryan McCarthy, man, because he deserves an offer for by MLB team. I'm hoping he gets that opportunity. But right now he's focused on training in the off season. So fans, like I said, please tune in, ask questions to Ryan McCarthy because this is gonna be a good one. First of all, Ryan, thanks for joining us today, and how you're doing, how your family doing, and obviously the last time we saw each other was at Trenton Thunder. So how you been doing with your training and all?
I'm doing good. Obviously, thank you for letting me come on the show. Just been doing good. Just been on the off season right now. Training for whatever opportunity comes to me next. So right now I'm just working on a few things as far as my mental game, because I think that's a really big aspect of baseball. Just working on my mental game, also training, getting bigger, faster, stronger, because that always helps. So but yeah, so I'm down here in Jacksonville, Florida right now. Just working out, training, trying to get ready for whatever opportunity comes next. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So before we get to your career, tell our fans, have you been watching the MLB postseason?
I have. Yes, I have been for
So,
sure.
what are your thoughts so far on the Yankees? Obviously, down 0-1 already to Houston, but what are your thoughts on the Yankees, and who are you rooting for?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I am a Red Sox fan.
Oh,
I'm being honest with you. But I have been watching the Yankees. I enjoy obviously all types of professional baseball. I love watching everybody play. And being down 0-1, first game, you come out there, you might have a little jitters. I'm sure they don't because they've been playing there for so long. But yeah, I know for sure I would. But just being out there, it's awesome being there. They made it there. They're obviously good enough, So it's first game, down 1. They're probably there working, gonna just get back to it, next game.
yeah.
So I think they'll be fine, to be honest with you, because they're a great team. They got a lot of great players. Harrison Bader's been out there being freaking stud. So, but yeah, they'll be fine, I think. But yeah, I have been watching. Been watching the Phillies though.
Yeah.
Recently though, they've been looking really good. So, other than last night, but I've been watching them, and yeah, I love it. I love playoff baseball. It's the best time of the year, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So now getting to your career, obviously you multi-sport talents, play football and baseball. So when did you decide to get into sports? And obviously being a multi-sport talented player like Bo Jackson, when did you get interested in playing both sports like that?
So I started off playing every sport. I was playing it I played baseball, basketball, and football. Those are my 3 that I played. I played a little bit of lacrosse too growing up. Really just anything to just keep me busy, because if when I'm sitting stagnant and not doing anything, I just get really impatient.
Yeah.
I always want to do something. So I played baseball, basketball, and football all throughout my younger years. Played got to high school, and my freshman year I played all 3. Sophomore year played all 3, and then junior year I kind of decided that it was time to focus on not 3 sports but 2. I was like, I can probably do 2, but I really need to focus on 1 overall. So as far as summers and stuff like that, I would so stop playing basketball my junior year, and then just focused on baseball and football, and then started trying to decide. I was like, I need to figure out whether or not how to get a scholarship. Baseball obviously doesn't give out too many scholarships in college. I think it's 11 around 11 scholarships. So I was like, football is probably my best bet. And to be honest with you, in high school I was a lot better at football than I was at baseball. So playing football, and then all my summers up until my summers all the way up until junior year were basically focused on like travel ball. So I was playing for Team Georgia. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's a travel ball.
You travel baseball? Yeah.
Yeah, travel baseball. So I was playing travel baseball for Team Georgia, and then come junior year, me and my dad and my family decided that it was time for me to just, focus on one sport as far as the summer. Like obviously still play school ball, baseball, but I just decided to focus on football. And went to football, started going to all these camps, just like mega camps. So I'd go to like Georgia Tech and they'd have like, 30 teams there, like all colleges and stuff. Went there. I did pretty well, stuff like that. I mean, I was not going to be like a Power 5 guy, to be honest with you. I was never big enough, fast enough in high school. So went to all these camps and ended up getting my first like collegiate offer from Elon, and super excited about that. I think that was I think it was my junior year summer, actually, is when I got my first college offer for football, and that was from Elon. And the way it works with football is a lot of the time is like once you get one offer, you like a lot of other ones start rolling in,
Yeah.
So I was sitting there, I got this first offer from Elon, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm a lot more offers are going to start coming in. So I sat on that offer for probably 5 or 6 months, kept going to camps and stuff, went up to Boston College, which was one of my, like, I thought I was going to get an offer from them and be able to go play football there, but then I ended up not. So then I call up Elon and I'm like, hey, I'd like to commit to you guys. I think this is around like my mid junior year, I would say. Called them and I was like, hey, I'd like to commit to you guys, to go play football. And they told me, they were like, actually, we don't have we already gave your scholarship away. He's like, you waited too long. Wow. You sat on it for too long. And I was like, dang, okay. So started the process over again. So then junior year summer, started going to all these football camps. And in high school, I was a quarterback. Mm-hmm. So we ran the triple option. I don't know if you know anything about that, but it's mainly just running. So we barely threw the ball at all. We probably threw the ball about 10 times a game. Same thing at the Citadel. Run the triple option as well, same offense. So I went to the Citadel camp and I actually went there as a linebacker because I played both ways in high school. I played quarterback and also linebacker.
Oh, linebacker.
Yeah, went there as a linebacker and went to the camp. And at this point, my offer had been taken away from Elon. So I got no offers, not sure where I'm going to go to college. And had a really kind of a connection between my head football coach at my high school and my football coach from and the Citadel football coach. So I told my dad, I was like, there's no way I'm going to the Citadel military school. No way. Like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just, go to a normal college and live a normal college life. So, but I was like, I'll go to the camp though, just to see. Go to the camp, went there as a linebacker, started doing the linebacker drills, and the guy was just giving me no attention. So I was like, all right, I literally walked from one side of the field over to the quarterback side, started throwing some footballs for the head coach. Head coach came over, ended up offering me a scholarship. Wow. So so that was my junior year summer, and I was sitting on it for a while, and obviously I thought the same thing was going to happen as far as if I get one offer, then more will start coming in. But then that ended up not happening. I was like, I'm not going to let this happen again. So ended up committing to the Citadel my junior year. So then go forward a little bit. Baseball is always I was always pretty decent high school player, started playing and then went into my senior year of baseball. And baseball was just kind of like the secondary sport moment, because football I was going summer and stuff like that. So going to senior year of baseball, and I started doing really well, and started getting a lot of attention from scouts and stuff. I probably had 10 to 15 scouts, at every high school game. I was probably not that many, probably 5 to 10 scouts. I don't know, but a couple. I was a kid in our league. His name's Taylor Trammell. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so he's in the league right now. So he was same year as me. He played football and baseball as well. Was committed to Georgia Tech to go. So we played him a lot. So whenever he was playing, there was always scouts there. And whenever we were playing each other, there was a ton of scouts there.
Wow.
So started getting a lot of like interest in baseball and stuff. And started like gaining my interest. I was like, okay, like this might be something I want to do, And so I had scouts come watch me hit, stuff like that. And then the Marlins were super interested in me. And by the time baseball season had ended my senior year, I had a lot of interest from scouts and stuff. But I had already signed my letter of intent to the Citadel. So to commit it, like basically signed my NIL or whatever it is. And then, so started getting these offers and I was like, okay, this might be something I want to do. So Marlins talked it over with my family and stuff. Marlins said that they were going to be able to give me a free agent contract out of high school, which was just nowhere near the amount of money that my scholarship for football would have been worth. So then I was just like, okay, I'm going to Citadel, playing football, playing quarterback. I go to the Citadel my freshman year. I'm playing football. Hold on, something just happened with my computer. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to Citadel my freshman year football, I'm not playing, but I'm on the travel squad, like at quarterback. And then it's kind of a rough freshman year. We have like a hurricane. Like every single year at the Citadel, we have like a hurricane is what we call it. So like you all leave, and I'm one of the only freshmen traveling. So I'm kind of struggling to, connect with these older guys who've been on the football team for, 4 to 5 years, whatever it may be. And just had kind of a rough freshman year. And at the same time, I'm going through my military training, which is when you're at the Citadel, your freshman year, you're a knob. And basically people just treat you like the lowest of the low. The lowest of the low. So I'm going through all that stuff, and into football season, like going into Christmas break, I ended up getting into some trouble. So at the Citadel, if you get in trouble, there's this thing called tours, where you have to walk back and forth in the inside of the barracks. So you walk back and forth for like an hour, which would be one tour. And I had 80 tours. Wow. So sitting there and I'm like, wow, this is bad. So come back after that freshman year Christmas break, and I still have like probably 75 tours left. And I'm walking these tours, and a baseball player actually is like walking them with me. Sitting there talking to him, just because we're out there for, 45 hours a day trying to get these tours done. And he's like, hey man, like our coach is talking about some kid who goes to the Citadel and doesn't even play baseball, but he's one of the best baseball players here. And I was like, that's weird. I was like, I played baseball in high school, maybe I should come try out. And he's like, yeah, well, you don't have to walk these tours if you're in season. So I was like, really? I was like, so if I'm playing baseball, like I don't have to walk these tours or whatever. And he's like, yeah, no, you don't. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Very next day, showed up to baseball practice. Very next day, showed up to baseball practice, had my tryout. I hit BP on the field for, about 20 minutes, and then did outfield stuff, basically like a tryout. And then I think 2 days later, we had a game versus Winthrop. They were already probably 4 or 5 games in. In the next 2 days, someone ended up getting hurt. They let me onto the team, and I ended up starting that game like 2 days after I tried out. I hadn't picked up a baseball bat since my last high school game. Wow. And then just played that next game, and then played every single game all the way up until this past year. So,
wow. That's a crazy story right there. And wow. And
crazy.
You did so Russell Wilson and Kyle Murray did the opposite of you. They chose football over baseball. You chose baseball over football. So obviously going through the military tours, and also obviously overcoming that trouble you've been in, and then doing walking back and forth. Would you say that that gave you the never give up mentality, where and then you have another opportunity to play another sport, and going through all that, would you say that made you a better person and a tougher person in your life?
Most definitely. And I think that when a lot of people get into ruts and stuff, as far as like where they just feel like it's like the lowest point of their life, like sometimes it kind of just turns into like what might be the best moment of your life. If I never got in trouble, I don't know if I'd be playing for the Trenton Thunder. You know, I don't know if I'd be having these opportunities as far as like baseball comes and stuff. You know, I may have never even played college baseball. You know, but when I got in trouble and stuff like that, I really thought that was like the worst time of my life. And I was at the Citadel freshman year, going through all these troubles and stuff, and I was just like, it couldn't get any worse. And then, you know, looking back at it now, that's what really sprung me into my, you know, baseball career. So I mean, I think a lot of the times when people get down and stuff, you never know what's going to happen and how it's going to work out. So I
Wow.
think it definitely made me tougher, and I think it, you know, even some of the worst things that happen to you can open up
Yeah.
some of the best things. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
we are live with Trenton Thunder outfielder Ryan McCarthy. We have a fan question for you.
Yeah.
They want to know, while being at Citadel, they want to know, did you ever think of joining the military?
So to be honest with you, no, not really. I think that the discipline helped me a lot while I was there, and it was great and all, but I'd never really considered joining the military while I was there. I think the people who go, I think only around 30% of people join the military, but I did enjoy the structure and you know, the discipline side of things while I was there, and just being like, obviously while I was there, I didn't really like it that much, but now that I look back at it, I think it's taught me a lot of stuff as far as self-discipline and time management, stuff like that. So yeah, but to be honest with you, I never really thought about joining the military.
Yeah, so another fan question just popped in. Someone wants to know, what advice would you give them, whoever's trying to do whoever's trying to play two sports, like, I mean, multiple sports like you?
hmm So if you're trying to play multiple sports, I would probably, my best advice for that would just be, you know, let me think about this for a second. I mean, you just got to really, when it comes down to it, you got to have good time management, because if you're trying to play, I mean, when you're in college trying to play two sports, like you're doing so many different things at a time. You're doing football, baseball, and also school, and then also a social life. So you got to figure out how to manage all of those things at the same time, and to a certain extent. Um, what I did most of the time was, when I was in football season, I was in football season. When I was in baseball season, I was in baseball season. So I never really flip flopped back and forth as far as like in college, you know, like when I was in football season, I was only in the football locker room, you know, hanging around the football guys. I'd go say, hey, what's up to my baseball friends and stuff like that. But most of the time I was in football. It's just, you really got to, like, as far as a team thing, you got to know how to just, you know, keep both sides happy, and as far as both coaches happy too. So as far as a college atmosphere, I would say just be in the sport that you're in at the moment, and, you know, make sure you have really good time management. When you're like a kid playing two sports, I would say, you know, just, there's a lot of things that can help both sports, you know, keeping your physical right. You know, being a football player doesn't like hurt me being a baseball player, you know, like getting bigger, faster, stronger. None of that like prevents me from being a like better baseball player. So I think they kind of go hand in hand, to be honest with you. Like, just playing multiple sports, because better athlete you are, then the better you're going to be at whatever sport you're doing, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell our fans, how nervous were you when you picked up the bat? It's at Citadel, obviously, a long time when you were in high school, but how nervous were you in your first game at Citadel as a baseball player?
I was super nervous. So I think my first at bat, I went up there. Kid wasn't really throwing like too hard. I think he was probably throwing like 85 or something. And I think I probably swang as soon as it came out of his hand, because what I'm used to seeing was high school stuff, or high school pitchers, you know, and I just come straight into a college game. I swang the bat like literally as soon as the ball came out of his hand. And I was like, oh gosh, this is not good. Next pitch, I think I ended up going like 0 for 4 that game. So really not a good first game, to be honest with you. But I think I like dribbled out to the pitcher, grounded out to like second, and struck out twice. So I mean, obviously wasn't the first game I wanted, but, you know, as far as the mental side of things, I had to realize I haven't played baseball in, you know, 4 months, you know, or however long it was. So I mean, I didn't get too down on it, and just knew that I had to hit the grind and, you know, get going, you know, get back to where I was. And then once you're playing baseball and stuff, I think it's pretty easy to, get back into it, I guess, per se. So that's what, I mean, at the Citadel each year too, when I think football might have like handicapped me in baseball a little bit too, because I wasn't able to go to the cages, wasn't able to,
Yeah.
spend weekends hitting, catching fly balls and stuff like that. I was literally playing football from Tuesday all the way till Sunday. So, I mean, our only off day was Monday, and it's really difficult as far as, trying to get your swings in, but also your body's aching, you're hurting. So I don't know, stuff like that. But yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah, so we have another fan question. They want to know, since you brought up you're a Red Sox fan, they want to know, did you have you connected with David Ortiz yet?
no, I wish. That's my favorite player, actually. That's funny that they asked that, because that is my favorite Red Sox player.
Mm-hmm.
I got a funny thing about David Ortiz. So when I was little, I'd never really watched. My dad, huge Red Sox fan. Like, our basement's painted red and blue for Red Sox. Got all like the World Series like pictures and banners hung up, whatever it may be. So I used to think that every time I watched the Red Sox, that David Ortiz hit a home run. So anytime David Ortiz was going to come up to bat, or, it was a big game or something, my dad's like, make sure you're watching, So I'd run up there, watch David Ortiz hit a freaking home run every single time I watched, I swear.
Oh my God.
So he's definitely one of my favorite players, and I wish I could connect with him. I'd love to, for sure. So
Yeah, is that the reason you wear 34?
34 win.
Oh wait, sorry, not 34. Yeah, you didn't wear 34. My bad. That's my fault.
I would wear 34, but I was actually my high school number. My number since I've been about 4 years old has been number 13, and then I got to college, and someone, obviously someone already had 13, so then my coach was like, here, just take 12, and I was like, it's close enough, one number off, I guess. So, but if I were to be able to choose my jersey number, like obviously at Trenton I was number 64.
Yeah, 64. That's what I meant. 64.
I wouldn't choose 64, obviously. It was just kind of given to me. But if I had to choose a number, as far as like when my career comes off, I'd choose 13 for sure. So
yeah. So going back to the Marlins offer, how tough is it for you to pass that offer up?
I mean, at the time, it didn't seem hard, but you look back at it now, and the fact that I don't really have any offers right now, it's kind of like, I wonder what would have happened if I would have taken that offer, But I mean, it's easy to say, easy to, go back and just be like, I should have done this, should have done that. But I mean, to be honest with you, I don't regret, declining that offer. Not yet, anyway. I might eventually, but I don't now, because I got a great education from the Citadel. I got to, bond with a bunch of my college teammates, classmates, stuff like that. So, I mean, and at the time, it was probably like 10% of what my scholarship was worth, like going to Citadel, it's like, around 55K out of state to go to each year. And I had a 4-year scholarship, full ride, everything paid for, and also grad school. So, I mean, it was tough. I mean, it's tough now to think about it, that like I could have had that opportunity that I'm, searching for now. But I mean, I don't regret not taking it, to be honest with you. So, yeah.
So tell our fans, how did you get the opportunity with Trenton Thunder? And obviously they believed in you from day one. Jeff Hurley, the GM, is amazing there. Obviously good to work with. Jeff Mancho, your manager, and also the play-by-play people and all the crew there. So how did you get the opportunity with Trenton Thunder?
So that's actually kind of a weird story too. So after baseball season ended at the Citadel, I was kind of, I'd never played any summer baseball as far as like going to any leagues or anything, the draft league. Never had been to a league before. Ended up, and after the Citadel team was over, I was like, okay, my only shot is the draft. I thought I might be able to get picked up, free agent signing, something like that. So I went. But other than that, I was like, I'm just gonna sit here, train, not do much, and just kind of hang out. So I was hanging out, and got a random text from someone. It was like, hey, this is Sean Campbell. would love to have you to the MLB Draft League. And I was just ecstatic about the offer. I was like, really? I was like, no. I was like, what? I was like, well, you want me to come? I was like, definitely. I was like, so literally he texted me. I believe I was actually out on a boat, like fishing or something. And I got this text and I was like, this is weird. I like thought it was a fake text or something. Like I just didn't know what to think about it. So I look at it and I was like, wow. I was like, okay, read it over a couple more times. I was like, okay. I was like, when do you need me there? And he's like, when can you get here? I was like, I'll be there tomorrow. So I went home. I got off the boat, went home, packed all my stuff, and literally left the next morning. Drove 14 hours to Trenton, but I was actually only on a 10-day contract originally. So he's like, the only thing I can offer you right now is a 10-day contract. So you come, show what you got, and then if we like you, we'll keep you. If we don't, then we'll send you back home. So went there, 10-day contract. That's obviously stressful. You're sitting there like, I just drive this 14 hours, to come up here and play for 10 days. And the 10 days there, I didn't even get to play like all 10 games. I think one day was an off day, and I think I was rotating with someone else the day, like another day. So I probably only got about 8 games in. And it's just, I think that was probably one of the most stressful times I've had, because you're trying to prove yourself, in that short amount of time. So, yeah, but I got the opportunity, got that 10-day contract, and then just kept getting my 10-day contracts extended. So until eventually the second half, and then they offered me the full contract. So,
yeah. So we have another fan question for you. They want to know some of your best moments at Citadel.
Some of my best moments at Citadel. So from a football perspective, it was probably beating Georgia Tech. So we went in to Georgia Tech, obviously a bigger school than us. We went in there. I played that whole game there, and it was just awesome being able to go into someone else's house and just beat them. That was probably one of my favorite football moments. And, as far as a lot of people on my team, that's probably one of their favorites as well. At the Citadel, my freshman year, baseball, we beat South Carolina at their place. And I started that game, but I didn't really do much, from a personal aspect. But that was still one of my favorite times ever, because we beat them at their place, sold out crowd. And then personal moment for me, as far as baseball, is probably this year. We were playing South Carolina at the Citadel. 2 times. We played Texas probably I think the week before. We played them, and we were hanging in there with them, and I hit a big home run, and just being able to see that home run just fly out versus the number 1 team in the nation was awesome. And then like a week or 2 after that, we played South Carolina, and when we played South Carolina, we ended up beating them at our place too this year, and I hit a pretty big 2-run home run that game too. So those are probably 2 of my favorite moments. And then as far as just the Citadel in general, it's just being around all my classmates. I mean, you get really tight with a lot of the guys there, because it's being like at Trenton. So at Trenton, we, everyone was, most of the people were in Ryder dorm, so just being around and, everyone going through the same thing brings a lot of people closer, and just being around people 24/7. Because we, at the Citadel, you have to live on campus all 4 years, and you got to be in your room by 11 o'clock. It's just very, structured. But being around people who are going through the same thing, just really brings a lot of people closer. And some of my favorite times weren't even on the field, to be honest with you. A lot of my favorite times were, bus rides or locker room, stuff like that. Just being around a lot of the guys I was around at the time. So.
Yeah. So before we got the opportunity with Trenton Thunder, do you know about the MLB Draft League at all? Or
I had no idea. No idea. I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you. I knew I knew a couple summer leagues, but the only one I knew about was the Cape Cod League. So I didn't know about too many summer leagues as far as the MLB Draft League, stuff like that. But as soon as I heard about it, I obviously did some research, looked it up, and yeah. So.
Yeah, so tell our fans, man. Obviously, like I said earlier, we got to cover you guys the whole season pretty much, or not the whole season, half the season. pretty much with you guys with Jersey Sporting News. And what was it like just being with this team this year? And obviously, you said you first you were part of 10-day contracts, but eventually they gave you that full contract, which you got to spend time the whole season with this team. And you had some great team. Obviously, it was a tough season for you guys, but you guys built as a group in the second half, and you guys started to play better. And obviously, what was it like just being part of this team and playing with players like Troy Banks, Dylan Espinal, Jeff Manto, the son, and then Paul, Sam Friedman? I can go down the list. So what was it
Yeah.
like? How special was it for you?
So that was probably one of the coolest experience I've had, so far, just because I got there on the 10-day contract, obviously, and there was probably, 10 or 15 other guys on a 10-day contract. So I probably cycled through about, I don't know, like 150 teammates, it seemed like, while I was at Trenton. So it was cool. It was really cool just to, see everyone from across, country, coming here to play, as far as like Kevin Science, he's
Yeah,
from Valley, so it's just everyone from everywhere. It's just, and you all build around baseball, which I thought was super cool. And never had that many different teammates, never different personalities, as far as that. But I wouldn't trade it. That was one of my best times. I enjoyed having all those guys around. They're all chasing the same goal that I am. And I think the best way to get to your goals is to surround yourself by people who are trying to do the same thing. So and all those guys were great influences on me, and hopefully I was a good influence on them. So it was great. I mean, I loved having those guys around me, like for the whole time. It's even the first half guys. I loved having
yeah.
them, and they went off to, back to their colleges or to their affiliated ball teams. Still keep in contact with them. Keep in contact with everyone in the second half. So it's good. I mean, I really enjoyed having that variety of people, to hang out with, to chase the same goal that, obviously I'm trying to chase. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have another fan question for you. They want to know they want to know what does your teammates call you, nickname wise?
Rhino. Everyone calls me Rhino. So I don't really, and I kind of just developed that name because I had a couple different home run celebrations while I was at the Citadel, and my coaches would call me Rhino, like a few guys. But then every time I hit a home run, I started doing the Rhino. I put a little Rhino horn on me. So I don't know. A lot of people just started calling me Rhino, and it was just kind of stuck, I guess. And it's pretty simple. My name's Ryan, so Rhino kind of fits well. Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of the first half guys, obviously we got to cover them too. And we were fortunate enough to we got to interview Cole Patton and Andrew Cassetti with Jersey Sporting News before they got drafted. And what was it like seeing your teammates get drafted? You had like the record of 8 players getting drafted this year, with Nate Ochoa, Andrew Cassetti, Cole Patton, Gus Sosa went to the Phillies, and other players. So what was it like seeing that as a teammate and seeing how they go about their business and the hard work they achieve?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I love watching other people succeed. I mean, my teammates, I wasn't with them when they got drafted, but as far as like the coming up to the draft and stuff, just seeing how they prepared, what they did and stuff like that, and just how I really enjoyed watching them play and watching them, hopefully succeed as far as their career goes. But I still talk to them, see how they're doing and stuff. But I really did enjoy seeing them make it like that, and I knew they would. They were all really good players, so I figured that they would have an opportunity to go, play affiliated ball. So yeah, super happy for them. Really, really happy for them. But yeah.
So we have we have another fan question for you though. They want to know your best. They want to know your best moment at Trenton Thunder this season.
Best moment at Trenton Thunder. Trying to think what my best moment would be. I mean, really just being around all the guys there. I don't know if I have a specific game or a specific, moment as far as like when, what my favorite game was or my favorite hit was, or, you know, I don't really have a specific home run. I just enjoy being around, you know, all the guys there. You know, one of the games that kind of sticks out to me was the 4th of July game. It was like one of our last games the first half when we had gone to we were about to go back home. And that was a fun game. Everyone was getting dressed up in their American flag arm sleeves, stuff like that. That was pretty fun. But really just being around all the guys, that was my favorite part about being at Trenton Thunder. As far as the play goes, I didn't really have a specific game, if I'm being honest with you, that I, you know, particularly liked more than any others. But yeah, just being around all the guys, you know, the atmosphere on the bus, at Ryder, you know, off days, going to the beach, stuff like that. I enjoyed that a lot. So
Yeah, I think yeah, if I remember, I got video of you. I think one game you hit a double and then you made into a triple. I think, if I remember. I had the video. I have the video where you hit some kind of hard double and then no a double and then you made into a triple. I think.
I think I do remember that one. Yeah, that was a pretty good game. I think. Well, actually, one of the games we had, I think it was versus like West Virginia, I believe. In the second half, we were down by like 8 or 9 runs, I believe, and then we ended up coming back and beating them. That was a pretty spectacular game. I'm not gonna lie. So that was probably the coolest game as far as when we were there. Yeah, I think that's the same game you're talking about as well. I think we were down by like eight or 9 runs or something, and then that double or triple, whatever it may be, and then a couple other guys came up, you know, with big hits and stuff. So that was a pretty neat game, I think. So
yeah, so tell our fan. I gotta ask you this: I like your board behind you by the McCarthy Kitchen, open 24 hours. Food tastes better when not to eat with your family. When now eat with your family.
yeah, food tastes better when you eat with your family.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously Paul is the pizza guy. So do you guys have like competitions between each other when it comes to food?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I went down there. I went to go visit Paul, you know, probably about a month ago. Went down there, saw his dad's pizza place. It was awesome. So yeah, no competition, but we both like food, so.
All right, tell our friends about the coaching staff. Obviously, you got Jeff Mento, and he got on. We were there we were there to cover when he got honored before the game, and obviously in the Trenton Thunder Hall of Fame. And what's it like? What was it like being part of this coaching staff? Sean Chacon, obviously former MLB player, pitching coach. He's crazy, but he's a good guy, and we interviewed him too. But talk about the coaching side. Brian Delgado, David Miller, your hitting coach. Just talk about the coaching stuff in general.
Yeah, it's a lot different than it is in college, you know. So like in college, it's kind of like the guys are, or the coach is just like so much more superior than you. So it's kind of hard to build like a relationship with, I feel like, your college coaches, just because like, I don't know, it's just a little different. But once you get the pro ball, you know, at Trenton and stuff, a lot of these guys were just like very good mentors, but also like your friends, you know. So Sean, you know, Shaq, Dave Miller, Manto, and Delgado. I mean, all of them were just very, you know, transparent as far as, you know, what they like, being like a coach, but also being like someone who could be there for you, you know, if you needed any help as far as like, you know, the game of baseball in general, because baseball is really hard, like mentally, you know, and it's hard for, you know, to stick with it, you know, it's when you don't know what's coming next and stuff like that. And a lot of those guys, you know, they've all been through it. So they've all, you know, had these times where you don't know what to do, you know. They were just a lot of help for me personally, you know, just not even from, obviously they were a lot of help from the baseball side of things, but they were even more help, you know, just as far as like mentors, I guess. So because they've been through everything and more that I've been through, you know, as far as baseball. So I think that they were a lot of help for me personally, and a lot of the other guys on the team, you know, as far as helping us out, is just, you know, to get to the next step, you know, how to become not just a baseball player, but a professional baseball player, because it's a totally different game. You might not know, but it's a totally different game. And a lot of college guys don't know this. I didn't know this coming into Trenton. It's a totally different game than it is in college. Totally different. And being able to adapt, they made it very easy for us to adapt to, the pro ball lifestyle. So I really enjoyed that. And obviously it was an honor to play for all of them. They've all done so many great things, Manto's in like 100 Hall of Fames, and, Shaq, MLB
Yeah.
All-Star, Delgado, awesome pitcher, Dave Miller, all great guys. So all really good really good coaching staff to be under. So
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll take one more fan question. One of our fans want to know, have you gotten any offers so far this offseason from MLB teams?
I have not. I wish I had, but hopefully they'll come soon. I think, everyone's on their own path. Sometimes it takes a little longer for some people than it does others. And I'm not giving up. I'm not, going to stop just because I haven't gotten that offer, or, it'll come eventually.
Yeah.
I think it will. And I'm going to keep working like it will. So, and if it doesn't, so be it. I'll go do my own thing, I guess, but I'm gonna work like it's coming.
Keep working. Yeah, you got to keep working.
Exactly.
Yeah, can you talk about Jojo Rodriguez? Obviously now with the Mets, and we interviewed him too while we were covering you guys, and talk about being teammates with him and his hard work as a pitcher, and now being with the Mets.
Yeah, so JoJo is one of my really good friends. So when I was still, he was part of like the 5 or 6 that stayed from the first half. So it was like, I think we only had like probably sorry, excuse me. We only had like 5 or 6 guys, maybe more than that, but I'm not sure. But me and JoJo, after the first half was over, kind of we're both like sitting there like, why hadn't we gotten picked yet or whatever? So we had both sat there like, you know what, screw it, we just gotta keep grinding, And I watched him grind. I watched him, become into the player that he is now. He worked really, really hard to get that offer, and I was super happy for him. Super, super happy. I knew it was coming too. It was just all just a matter of time. Like I said, everyone's on their own path. I knew it was gonna come. It was just a matter of time when it was coming. And he got that offer that day while we were at Frederick, and it was awesome. And then the way it happened too. I don't know if you know how it happened. Manto came he brought us all in pregame, and he was like, hey, we got some bad news from Sean Campbell. Like some of these pitchers are going to have to, get their spin rate up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, so we got Sean Campbell's going to give us the new like rotation for, the next couple days. And JoJo was supposed to pitch on Friday. He's like, so Thursday, we got this guy, Friday, we got this guy. And it wasn't JoJo. So JoJo's like, I look at JoJo, and JoJo looks at me. He's like, what? He's like, what do you mean I'm not pitching on Friday? And then he's like, and then on Tuesday, Jojo Rodriguez is going to be pitching for the Port St. Lucie, Mets or whatever. So and it was awesome. So everyone was super happy for him, and well deserved. Everyone knew that he deserved it, and I was just super happy for him. And I'm glad to see that he's been doing well since he's been there. So
yeah. So speaking, yeah, I think I saw that video. Someone posted on Trenton Thunder page, and once I saw that he got the opportunity with the Mets, I posted my interview with him, and he reposted it. What a great guy, great pitcher, and he's doing great now so far in the Mets minor league team, and it's just amazing to see you guys just continuing to work hard. And can you talk about, before we get a couple more things, can you talk about Greg Caserta? He's the guy who helps us out to get the interview set up for you guys to talk to. Talk about him, and talk about Matt Hartshorn, who also works there. Well, those two people.
Yeah, they're all those guys were awesome. I mean, Matt, helped me out tremendously as far as when he was there, because he had all the reports, as far as what we needed, guys, their spin rate, what they threw, stuff like that. He helped us out, and also helped out, as far as like all the travel and stuff like that. And he was actually the second person to reach out to me when I had come to Trenton. So it was Sean Campbell. He's like, I'll hook you up with the guy from Trenton, Matt. Contacted him. He got me to Trenton, set me up in rider, all that stuff. So I was super grateful for him. And like, just having him around the clubhouse was also good too, because he was always, always had the information that we needed, And so both of those guys were really great help as far as, Greg too, setting up interviews and stuff like that. So, I mean, I enjoyed having, both of them there. And like also like I said, as far as like the Manto, Shaq and Miller and Delgado, all them, like they were, friends with us too. Like you build a connection with these people, and like when you have to leave, it's kind of sad because you're like, we've been with each other, the whole summer, So you build a connection with just everyone there, and that's what I really tried to do as far as just build connections, with
Yeah.
people while I was there. Try to talk to as many people as I could, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. And also I want to give a big shout out to Greg Caserta. Obviously, I want to let my fans know that before the season ended, actually the last game of the season that we got to cover too, he helped me set up I think 5 to 6 players. I did a video with 6 players about telling their best moment of the season, and and then talk about the fan base and which position they play. I don't know. I think you saw that video, right? When
Yeah.
yeah. So shout out to him for helping me set it up like that. And I just want to let my fans know that this guy, man, he's the best when it comes to setting up interviews.
Yeah.
And
He's
um,
legit.
yeah. So before we get to the last two things, tell our fans. Speaking of fans, tell our fans about the Trent Thunder fan base.
Oh yeah, that the Trenton Thunder was the best place to play, like by far in the MLB Draft League. I mean, we always had a great, atmosphere there. As far as, everyone who was there, and also we had like a few times where we went up for I think we had like a lunch the day before, and during I did a couple kids camps while I was there too. All the fans were super, great, and just really enjoyed the game of baseball, but also enjoyed watching us play, and I think that's pretty special as far as a summer league team. Like I didn't expect to come there and have, 4 to 5 thousand fans. I think that's crazy. So I mean, being there, having like that good support group it was amazing having all those people there. And like also, it's kind of cool when you get to a place where you've been there for a while and a lot of people start actually knowing who you are, like people calling you by your first name and stuff. So I thought that was pretty neat, like people saying, "Hey Ryan, how you doing?" I try to connect with them as best as I could. So I really enjoyed having them there, though, for sure.
Are you guys Patriots fans also?
Yes,
Oh,
we are
okay.
Patriots fans. One of my buddies from Citadel actually just got signed to the Patriots, which is
Oh,
actually pretty cool.
oh
Yeah.
wow. Who's
So
that?
His name's Raleigh Webb. He was the other receiver with me at Citadel. So he just got signed to the 53-man roster for the
That's awesome.
Patriots. So
Wow. Congrats
yeah,
to him. Congrats to him.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan. So
oh, of course you are. You need the Cowboys. Come on.
So the last two things here, our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. He's a former NFL coach. Now he's coaching at Grambling State University. We're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe. So we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything you guys do, and keep up the hard work. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So I'll let you close it out here. Let our fans know where they can follow you on social media, and what do you have coming up next?
okay. My social media is my Twitter is Ryan Mac Football. I should probably get that switched to Ryan Mac Baseball at some point, but I'm not really sure how to do that. So Twitter is Ryan Mac Football. Instagram is Ryan McCarthy 13, and I believe that's all the social media I have. And then what else?
Oh, what do you have? Yeah. And then what do you what do you kind of have next coming up? Just to continue working hard, right? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, just basically train. Wait on an opportunity that I have. Whenever I get a jersey with name on the front and the name on the back, I'll be good to go. So just looking for that opportunity.
Yeah. So there you have it. Trenton Thunder outfielder Ryan McCarthy, who's looking for an opportunity for an MLB team, but if not, then looking forward to covering you guys next season. And obviously, I'll be back with Trenton Thunder, working with them and help covering you guys. And man, it's been fun connecting with you and your other teammates. And this interview has been fun. And thank you to the fans for asking great questions to Ryan today. And the fans got to know a lot more about you as a player and a person. And Like I said, thank you again. Continue working hard. I'm hoping you get the opportunity pretty soon with the major league team. But if not, we'll see you next season at Trenton Thunder. But keep up the great work, and thank you again.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you to the fans as well. I appreciate the questions.
Yeah. So there you have it. Episode 1044 on the NR Hour Sports Show. Ryan McCarthy.